the Nike Vaporfly 3, a shoe that keeps impressing me the more I run in it, and the more I run in it, the more I'm falling in love with it. I made a lot of content about this shoe. I have a first impressions video, I have a design deep dive, I have a pretty in-depth comparison video. I don't have a lot more to say about this shoe that I haven't already said, because the more I run in this shoe, the more I'm falling in love with it. And I really mean that. This shoe just gets better the more time I spend in it. So this review is going to be really focused around two things: durability, how is this shoe holding up for me, and how am I using the shoe. So let's start with durability. Now, keep in mind that I am a 4-foot striker, and especially in this shoe, I'm very much a 4-foot striker. So the durability of this shoe has been pretty good. I'm not getting any sort of extreme wear. And in the heel, I am getting some discoloration of the foam, like the paint is coming off the foam, but it's completely cosmetic. There is no substantial wear back here. So I have seen a lot of reviews of this shoe and photos of this shoe of heavy heel strikers with the heel just torn apart in this shoe. But again, at almost 60 miles now, I'm not getting any of that. And otherwise, this shoe looks kind of almost new. The upper, the more I run in this upper, the more I love this upper as well. I know a lot of people are having issues with the upper on this shoe, that it just does, they don't like the fit of it, but I find it fits my foot perfectly. Maybe I'm lucky that I have the right foot size and the foot shape for this shoe, but the more I run in the shoe and the more the shoe, the foam is molded to my foot and the upper is sort of conformed to my foot shape, the better the fit gets. This is the best fitting Vaporfly I have ever worn. I have no problems at all in this shoe. I have no slippage. I have no toe problems. I have no volume problems. I have no lace bite. I have no heel issues. I have zero issues in this shoe, which is outstanding. That's brilliant. I can't say that about other Vaporflies. The Next Percent 2, I definitely had some issues with that upper. I had some toe issues, some heel issues. I had some rubbing issues in the heel. All of that's completely gone in this shoe. Also, a lot of problems I have with the Alphafly and the Alphafly 2. That upper just does not work for my foot. They're completely missing in this shoe. This shoe fits my foot perfectly, and I'm thankful for that, because this is most likely going to be my race shoe this fall. The other thing about durability that has been a big surprise to me, and I talked about this in my first impressions, is this rubber in the forefoot. I thought this was going to wear really fast because it is softer and it has a lot more, there's a lot more compliancy to this shoe. But I can say that this material is wearing better than the material did on the Next Percent 1 or 2. I'm getting way less wear. And this is my right shoe, and I'm much harsher on this, the lateral side of the forefoot on my right shoe, than I am my left. And usually by 60 miles or so, a Vaporfly would be completely bare in this area. But on this shoe, I don't know if you can see that quite well, there's still waffles over here. There's still nubs over here, which I did not expect. So the durability of this shoe for me as a 4-foot striker has been outstanding. Honestly, it's been better than the Next Percent 1 or 2. And I also feel like the shoe itself, the way it sort of molds to my foot, it's better. So the other key thing that I can talk about now is how I've been using this shoe. Now, I have about 60 miles in this shoe, so a bit over 50 miles, obviously. But I've not run a lot in this shoe for a bunch of reasons. Right now, it's peak sort of summer here in Taipei, Taiwan, which means it's extremely hot, which means I'm not doing a lot of high volume right now. A long run for me right now is about 16K or 10 miles. And I've done a few of those in this shoe, and it's great. But I don't need this shoe right now. I will start my marathon build in August for New York City in November. But for now, I'm mostly focused on shorter, harder running, more interval work, more heel work. So I'm not really running in a high stack plated shoe. I'm running in things like the Streakfly, the Adios 8, in lower stack shoes like that, because I'm trying to build durability, foot strength, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just not putting as many miles in this shoe right now as I expected to. But what I am doing in it is, like I said, I'm taking it on those longer runs, and on those longer runs, I'm treating those more like fartleks, where I'm just doing a lot of paces. I'm going through the gears very often on those longer runs when I'm in this shoe, and it's performing brilliantly. It's working exceptionally well for every pace I throw at it. The only thing I've found that I don't like this shoe for, and I did sort of do okay with them in the next percent one or two, is really short intervals like 100s or 200s. Not that this will ever be my first choice for that, but where I have done them in the shoe, I think the softness of this shoe, I don't like doing them in this shoe. I didn't have a problem doing them in the next percent one or two, but this one I just don't like it. Again, I'm always going to pick a Adios 8 or something like a Streakfly. And while the Streakfly is very soft, I'm getting more drive into the ground because there's no plate in that shoe, where there is a plate in this shoe, and I just feel like there's too much foam here to be doing that sort of shorter work. But I also don't need this shoe for shorter work, nor would I ever really use it for that, other than on those sort of runs where I'm going through the gears and really trying things out. The one thing on the shorter side that I am finding on those sort of fartlek or speed play runs is that I can go through the gears really well in this shoe. I can go from an easy pace to a threshold pace really fast, and I can accelerate, I can decelerate, and that is something I've always appreciated about the Vaporflies, and it seems even more easy for me in this shoe because the shoe is so much more responsive for me compared to an X percent one or two, that I really love that, because that's something that I value racing. Because for a marathon, yes, you want to kind of get set into a pace and stay there for the course of the race. But I mean, if you're running in a group, or you're trying to catch a pace group, or there's a bottleneck somewhere in the course, like, you need to pick up, you need to accelerate, you need to sort of do those punchier efforts, like a quicker KM to get back on track, something like that. And I can do that in this shoe. That's not something I could ever do in an Alpha Fly. Alpha Flies just always felt like I'm running in mud when I'm trying to do that. And the Vaporfly 1 or 2 would often feel a little bit too stiff, where it worked really good for those accelerations, but then once I did a couple of those accelerations, my forefoot would be a little beaten up, and it wasn't the most optimal thing for the longer distance. So I'd always have to sort of reserve those pickups or those faster kind of accelerations, so I didn't wear my feet down. I'm not getting that in this shoe. I'm getting the ability to sort of pick that up a lot, but I'm not getting any sort of feet, beat down at all. So this shoe I've described as being softer but runs firmer. I think the foam in this shoe is softer, but I think a lot of the sculpting that you see in the sidewalls of this shoe and just how this shoe impacts the ground, I think this shoe runs firmer because of that. So it's just an optimal mix of a lot of different things for me. And as I said in the intro, the more I run in this shoe, the more I'm falling in love with it. Let me know how you're using the Vaporfly. What are you finding about the Vaporfly 3? Are you finding more durability? Are you having upper issues? Are you getting abnormal wear? Let me know in the comments, because I always love to kind of get that feedback and understand how you guys are using the shoe as well. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you're new here, subscribe. You'll see more running content like this pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like in this video because it helps this channel continue to grow. And for that, I'm always appreciative. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.